Back here on the UNCP Sports Black and Gold Report, I'm joined now by UNCP Wrestling Head Coach O.T. Johnson. Coach, thanks for being here.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
We're at about the midway point of the wrestling season. Can you give us a recap on how things have gone so far?
Yes, so we've had a few dual meets, 3 to be exact, and we're 1 and 2 right now with losses to 2 Division I opponents, NC State and Air Force Academy. Great opportunity for our guys to compete against those caliber of competition and just kind of gauged where we were at the time. Obviously, we were able to use that momentum that we had from the Wolfpack duels to take us into the Midwest Classic, which we saw some pretty good results there in 2 placers. Obviously, the usual Blaze Shea getting to the finals, and still have some work to do there to break that code. And then Mikey Thomas having some pretty big wins at that event, beating at the time the currently ranked #1 kid in the country, and then beating I think another couple ranked opponents. So we now know, and he now knows that he can get the job done. Now we just got to get a few more guys to continue to sharpen some tools, and I think we're ready to make this push at this second half of the season.
You talked about that tough schedule, the D1 competition, some very elite tournaments and invitationals. How has that prepared your guys for really the second half of the schedule?
I mean, that schedule is put together with a purpose. Obviously, the guys are buying in now as we're getting more veteran wrestlers in the lineup, so they understand now from year in and year out the purpose of us putting a schedule like that together from the get-go. As the season goes along, in some cases, we start off tough, and some tournaments may not be as tough, but at the same time, in those cases, they're put there for a reason. So they kind of give the guys a not necessarily easy win, but some events that we can work on some deficiencies that we may have in our room or even in competition. But it's an opportunity for our guys in our program to go up against your NC States, your Air Force that travel halfway across the country, and then we get a chance to see some D1 competitions, open tournaments. So we're very fortunate to be able to have that. I think 7 or 8 Division I programs, within a state or 2 of us that we any weekend can see at open tournaments.
One of the highlights of the season has been, of course, the annual Pembroke Classic hosted at UNCP. What does that mean for not just your program, but for wrestling in the region?
Well, this tournament has been going on for I think 30+ years now, and it just shows that one, we have a very known product that people can come to, knowing every year is going to be there. It's not like one of these fads that comes and goes. And our guys enjoy, especially at the beginning of the year, they get a chance to wrestle in their home gym in front of their home crowds, because we don't get that opportunity in dual meets very often at the beginning of the year. The tournament is a stable, and it's grown to be known now. I think as soon as we're done with it, coaches starting to ask when we're going to host it the next year, and we have to kind of calm them down a little bit with a few things to let them know that hey, something else might be coming up. So we need to make sure we don't, I guess, jump in the gun early. But it's a great tournament. It's good for wrestling in the South. It's a great early season tournament, and it gives us a chance to kind of move around during the day of the tournament and allow our young guys to get competition when they don't have to travel. Add the added component of leaving their gym, leaving their beds. They get to be in that controlled environment as much as you can before they go out and compete. So it's awesome, and we're excited to host it, and looking forward to having the next one next year.
Looking ahead now, this will be the second season of your team competing in the Eastern College Athletic Conference. What are some of your thoughts on the conference format as the schedule is about to really begin there?
Well, definitely love the fact that we have these dual meets that are supposed to be individual dual meets that are held at each schools, either home and away. So last year they didn't really have a conference schedule, so to speak, so it was kind of just like the teams that were in the conference, we just kind of scheduled each other and kind of did it on our own. But this year there's a format where it's home and away. Obviously, we'll wrestle at some places this year, and they'll come to us next year. So, it's a great concept. We're hoping that in time, this conference can grow to hopefully 8 teams, to where we can kind of do some more things with it. But love the conference, love the idea, love the fact that our kids can finally get to somewhat represent themselves like the rest of the student athletes on campus. To be affiliated with a conference that they can call themselves champions. Because the reality is, not every one of our guys are going to qualify for the nationals, and so this is something else they can kind of hang their head on, not only from a wrestling perspective, from an academic accolade perspective. They can be all conference academic teams and things like that.
ECAC matches about to gear up and get going. The Braves are picked as runners-up in the preseason poll. Now that you've seen your team in action for a couple matches, do you believe they have what it takes to challenge for the conference title?
We hope so. We hope so. We got to have some luck and barring some injuries and hopefully getting the guys all geared up and head in the right direction, not looking too far ahead. It's great to be, I guess, picked to finish second, but at the end of the day, we have to go out there and wrestle one match at a time, not look forward to this guy or that guy or this team or that team. The only important team is the first team that we wrestle, and that'll be Belmont Abbey. Once that team gets here, we'll handle what's in front of us and let the chips fall where they may.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after these messages on the Black and Gold Report. Welcome back to the Black and Gold Report. I'm Cameron Songer, joined once again by UNCP wrestling coach O.T. Johnson. Coach, the name that most fans I think know from your wrestling team is Blaze Shade, returning runner-up in his weight class from a year ago. How has Blaze done this year, and what does he need to do to put himself in a position to compete for a national championship again this year?
Blaze is obviously the ideal athlete. Not only does he get the job done on the mat, but he gets the job done in the classroom as well. The kid works hard. He doesn't take any days off. He doesn't take matches off. And sometimes we've had to pull him out of some events to get that hunger that he needs at the end of the year to be prepared. He's done a good job. Obviously, he's got 2 losses on the season. One when he was up at a weight class at the Pembroke Classic against his teammate Mikey Thomas, and the other one to that, I don't know what the right word is nemesis, Nick Becker from Wisconsin Parkside. That's a puzzle that we have to solve as a staff. I think Blaze does everything we ask him to do. Now we just gotta try to figure out that puzzle on our own and give him the tools that he needs to go out there and get the title. We feel like right now he's the second best kid in the country. Now we gotta break that code and try to make sure that when he walks off the stage at nationals his senior year, he can raise his hand as the last guy at the 174-pound weight class. And outside of that, Blaze has been exceptional for the program, and he's done everything asked from him athletically, academically, and as a leader. Great leader. Guy knows what to say, when to say it to get people moving, and can't ask for a better person. This one in the room, guys are lollygagging, and all you hear is a woo. It's match day. No one's expecting that. Got a little chuckle, and guys feeling good about being up at 6 a.m. and working out. So that's what kind of leader he is, and that just makes him a good person, a good guy to have in the program.
Other than Blaze, you have a whole other team of wrestlers. Who else has stood out in terms of wrestlers who've done well so far this year, and who should fans keep an eye on?
Definitely want to keep an eye on Mikey Thomas, great student athlete. Little side note, Mikey just got accepted to dental school at ECU, so very excited for him. A guy that's finally starting to feel what it means to be in that position to compete. We've always thought he had the tools to get the job done. Mikey had a great tournament at the Midwest Classic, placing 6th, beating 3 ranked opponents in that tournament, and he was finally able to see what we've seen in him, his potential is finally starting to show through. You got a junior Eric Milks at 157 that's starting to buy into the idea that you don't have to cut 20 pounds to be a good wrestler. Coming in there with the idea of getting better at wrestling, not cutting weight. So his performances are showing. He's dominating opponents, and hopefully as the season goes along here, Eric continues to get healthier. We can kind of see that all come to fruition.
From a schedule standpoint now, 3 more dates where Lumbee Guarantee Bancorp will host wrestling this season. You have a duel on February the 5th, the Braves Classic on February 11th, and then another duel on the 13th. What's your message to Brave Nation in terms of creating that home mat advantage for the Braves?
Well, I can tell you, if you're going to be in town on February 5th, you're obviously getting ready for the Super Bowl. So you definitely want to come and start your pregame, amp party at the Jones Center and Lumbee Guarantee Bancorp. You can see some great action just to get you ready for whoever is going to be playing and you'll be going for. We have 2 matches that day. One is a non-conference match, and then the second is a conference match against Emmanuel. That we've dominated both of these teams thus far, and we're looking to continue that trend that day. And then we'll get you guys ready for your Super Bowl Sunday evening. And then on the 11th, we have another tournament that we're hoping to give our non-starters an opportunity to get more mat time, just in case something happened. It's athletics, you never know. Just to keep those guys hungry and keep them training the right way. So obviously students know they can get in free. So come out and support the Braves that day and just get yourself something to do outside of your dorm and your apartments. And then the 13th, we send our seniors off the right way. That'll be our senior night match, and hopefully we'll be in the right position to claim that pivotal ECAC Wrestling Conference Championship that day. So really excited about those 3 dates, and excited for our guys and the opportunities that stands ahead of us.
Coach O.T. Johnson, always a pleasure.
Thanks for having me.
That's all the time we have this week. For more information on UNCP athletics, including tickets, live stats, and live broadcasts, visit uncpbraves.com. Until next week, go Braves.